President, sub-regional directors, national leaders, and all blessed, dear blessed families. Our Hundoke is coming from Blessing and Adil family, chapter 3, part 3. I read, the Unification Church mass wedding ceremony wedding ceremony of a man and a woman to make a family. Until now, marriage was centered on the individual self, but our wedding ceremony is holy and has the content to make God happy and the condition to indemnify history. Our marriage ceremony is to liberate God's grief caused by Adam and Eve's fall and fulfill what Jesus could not, which is to pass through the standard of the bridegroom and bride. This is explained clearly in the divine principle. To receive the blessing is to become one with God. If you are one with God, you can become whole and everything of God. Whatever the subject has can be received. God has eternal life. From eternal life, he has universal love. As ideal subject, he has the world view. Everything is being bequeathed. That is why receiving the blessing is the same as inheriting everything. You received God's love previously. By the blessing, we can receive God's substantiality and God's substance. Furthermore, it is not all just God, but it becomes yours. That is why marriage means to inherit everything. The most valuable part of God's love is being bequeathed. God himself is being bequeathed and everything is being bequeathed. In these contexts, we use the word blessing. Receiving the blessing means receiving good fortune. In the entire life of Father, do you know what is the most valuable thing I can imagine? It is the blessing. For all of you, the ultimate gift is in human history is the blessing. The Unification Church members must know that receiving the blessing is the principal way. And you must know that receiving the blessing is happiness. If you obtained the entire satanic world, you would own a sorrowful world. That is why you must receive the blessing with joy and thankfulness and never exchange it for anything. How are you feeling? You are receiving without correctly knowing the value. Aju.
Offrant des ovations aux parents célestes, aux vrais parents.
Let's clap for heaven for the words which will guide us throughout this morning program to permit us to better understand the essence of this message and permit us to be at the same level of understanding and start this day with determination. I invite you to receive the Regional Vice President, Ms. Mika Malaman, who will comment and give us more insights on this message. Mrs. Mika, you have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you, and good morning to our CheonWonGung co-chair, Bakamara. Good morning to Regional President, Papa Kadima. Good morning to all of our sub-regional directors, all Africa headquarters staff and leaders present, national leaders, blessed families, and my brothers and sisters. It's good to see you all this morning after a full week last week of also our within our 3-generational education program. And of course, the many various activities that we are all doing in our respective fields in our different nations of our region. So coming together here this morning, I feel it's a good chance to meet together as one family and to also really share on our true parents' words and receive guidance together. So I will be reflecting on today's message shared in Hundoke reading. It was very short, but very clear, I feel, in regards to our desire to also comprehend more deeply about the meaning of the blessing. I feel, yeah, from reading these words, I really feel true parents, true father really expressed very clearly that the blessing is the ultimate gift, right, that we as humans can receive. He mentions also that the blessing is is the only way to receive good fortune, right? And being able to receive everything that God wants to give. This is the only way is actually through the blessing. Everything that God has, the only way we can inherit it is through the blessing. So if we believe God is right, almighty, omniscient, and right, the owner of all, the creator of all, then imagine what a great fortune that is if we can receive that as we also are given this gift. And then receiving blessing is happiness. Wow. For me, this is also, again, another very clear uh, point, because as we know, we're all looking for happiness, right? Everyone is striving for happiness, the first phrase of the divine principle. And we know that's the case. Everyone is looking for that. That's why when we share that, people can want to come. If you can share, let me give you the tool to happiness. People come, right? And then yeah, we are sharing that blessing, and True Father is sharing blessing is happiness, right? And we are also trying to and living that, trying to understand that. But then what was interesting is at the end, he mentions that we are all not really knowing the value of the blessing. And this was actually the last point, right? Are we knowing? Kind of like a question. Do we really know the value of the blessing? Yeah. So these four main parts really kind of stood out to me in today's reading, and I was reflecting on it based on my own experience. I feel like many times, yeah, the only way I can truly express is also through my own experience of understanding the words and how I've come to also understand the blessing. Especially when it comes to looking at the blessing as the ultimate gift. It's something that I feel as a second gen growing up that I recognize that for my parents, this was the greatest gift they wanted to give me. And they, were truly, preparing and wanting to prepare me to give this gift to me, the blessing, the match, right? My match and then the blessing. And I was, growing up knowing that from very early on that this is my life and this is my path. However, I do have to say, because I didn't quite understand the value of it, this gift that seemed to be that my parents wanted to give me also seemed a little bit heavy. It was a bit scary. I didn't quite understand it and therefore was heavy. It was a heavy gift. Kind of even in a way, do I even deserve it? Because they seem to want to give it to me with this like belief that this is the best thing for me, but I didn't understand the value. And as a result, I feel like for me, it was not necessarily a gift, but in a way, a little bit of a burden because I had to carry it with such high respect, yet I didn't understand what truly it meant. So I felt this was how I saw it a little bit. I don't know. I don't think it's for everyone. Maybe everyone is not like that. But I think especially as our youth growing up, knowing, and our parents, who kind of really saw the value through their own decision to go to the blessing and to receive this truth. The children growing up within our movement, we have to also come to understand that value to start to appreciate that gift, right? If we don't, then it's just the gift that somehow is there, but it's not understood by us. And in a way, we may carry it, but may not really understand the value and therefore may not even utilize it properly. And so this is where I feel like the importance of understanding the value is very clear to me. Because otherwise it is just something we may receive but not utilize it properly. So this feeling is what I really feel like we are in this period where we're trying to really share the value of the blessing. And of course, to our own children, but also to the world, to really show that this is the only way that we'll be able to receive that true happiness, that true joy, and actually be the people that God intended us to be, inheriting everything for which He wanted to give us. So, so reflecting on this, I do feel like how now do we share this value? How do we come to express this value to the children, to our children, and also to the world? How do we bring this value out? And of course, you know, the only way I think we can really come to do that is first, you know, understand how much our parents, first our heavenly parent, wanted to offer this gift to us. Understand basically our parents' heart, which is, I think, CheonWonGung. Understand what it meant, you know, for God to create us, what it meant for us to be living in this earth with all that we have already. Even the fact that we're living and the fact that we're breathing is all because of our Creator. And try to understand that is actually the first and foremost way to come to understand, I feel, the value that our Creator, our parent, is giving to us, you know, through this gift. Because if you think about it, that was the gift that even God wanted to give to Adam and Eve. In fact, He probably did give it. You know, what was preparing to give it, all prepared, wrapped nicely, you know, to offer it to Adam and Eve at the time of when they were ready to receive the blessing and to enter into harmony as husband and wife. But before then, you know, they left. They opened it without really understanding the value, and therefore created a lineage of people who never understood the value for which we were created, the value for which God invested His whole life, His whole being, His whole existence to create us and to give us this gift that allows us to then eventually keep inheriting and being like God Himself. So it's something that then God had to wrap up again very nicely and just keep and wait and wait and wait until the day that He could offer it again to human beings, to offer it again to the people, the only man and woman that could come to eventually see the value of that. And that is then our true parents, right? And that is the only time for which then God was able to finally offer this gift for which they saw and understood the value through all of course, understanding the history and understanding God's heart and pain of even wanting to bring this gift to humanity. And therefrom that, then we were able to receive it. And that's where our first elders, our parents, have now been able to pass on this gift to our children. But yeah, as I said, starting from me, you know, as a child growing up, it was a gift also that I didn't understand the true value of it. And I feel that perhaps many of our youth can still be in that situation. And when we don't understand the value of the gift, either we throw it away because we don't care, either we take it, but we don't utilize it properly. And in some sense, yeah, we don't come to truly give it the worth that it has, meaning we don't utilize the great preciousness that it has. So these 3 points, I feel my message today is really how we can come to understand the value, how we as, you know, God's children can really come to feel that this is something so precious. Maybe we may feel it from our parents, we may feel it from, our elders, but as I'm talking now to my brothers and sisters, my younger brothers and sisters, how can we really come to understand the value? This is really my message to us all, that is the first thing we need to do. Before throwing it away, before utilizing it maybe without truly knowing its value, let's really understand this value, because it's only through that we're going to be able to utilize it properly. It's only through that we're going to be able to really take the best part of that, meaning like inherit everything that God wants to give us through this, because we understand what it is. And it's only through that we can truly find the great happiness. Because if we don't understand the value, it can even come to start feeling like it's a burden because we don't utilize it the way God intended us to, the way it was meant to, the way it's there for, you know. So I wanted to really express that through my reading today. This is what I thought, because the last point really was what Father mentioned. Do we really understand the value? And this is how I feel, you know, before anything else, before even wanting it, maybe, you know, maybe many of you here are already preparing for the blessing, but how much do we really know the value? How much do we really understand what it means? And this is where understanding God's heart, understanding what investment God put into bringing it about is going to be very necessary to really understand its value. I'm saying this from my own experience because I feel for even for me to come to understand its value, I'm still learning, to be honest, but I actually, it came with my realization that before I throw away something that my parents, I felt really wanted me to have, I should at least try and understand why they want me to have this so much. So that was my course to eventually try to find out who, you know, and what this gift really is. And because of that, because I came to understand the origin of that gift, which is Heavenly Parent, that's when now things started to make sense. So this is where I am. I feel I would like to share and give this input to all of us, centering on our true parents' words, how and why, and really where can we, let's all try and look for the value of this blessing. Even now, as people, all of us, those who are blessed, still, I think we still can find more value, you know, and start to appreciate it even more. Because there is much more than probably what we see, as we still don't, I feel, know truly the extent for which our parents, our Heavenly Parent, has given everything for us to receive this gift. So that's how I'd like to share today, and I hope it can give some insight. I know we have a lot coming through today's session with our regional president and also our CheonWonGung co-chair sharing together today. So I feel there's a lot to learn, and please let us really be attentive to what also our parent and grandparent will be sharing. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Regional Vice President, for this important message. Your permits us to understand the essence of the gifts we receive. Why our parents preparing this for us? Why is it only this type of gift? Because this is also important. Why is it this type of gift? Why is it not the other type of gift, but only this one? This is because parents have already prepared a package of blessing behind these gifts. That is why they are giving us this type of gift, so we can use it as we have to show the regional vice president will come another day to better develop this term, which I would like to name the gifts of heaven. Thank you very much, Mrs. Mika Malaman. As you know, we are working in the three generational structure, the the grandparents, the parents, and the children. And we just had the daughter who spoke, of course, the daughter of Africa who just spoke. And now we are going to receive the father of Africa that will guide us on an important subject, which is that of the CheonWonGung project, in which we are all working until this morning. So the contributions, but not only the contributions, but our entry in the CheonWonGung with our beloved true mother. The 8,000 candidates for the next blessing that will represent the 80 years of our beloved mother on earth. Dear Central families, let's all welcome the regional president, Reverend Jean-Pierre Kadima, for his message this morning with a round of applause. Regional president, you have the floor.
Merci, MC, pour
Thank you, MC, Regional Secretary General. Thank you for giving me the floor. And this morning, you already announced the subject I want to speak on. It's a very important subject that links us to true parents, particularly to our true mother. It's a subject which permits us to understand the importance of this moment. It permits us to understand the importance of our contributions. Um, Most importantly, it is part of our action of devotion. I would like to remind us through a reading from the CheonWonGung Etiquette and Service. Verse 7 says, "A life of service or a life of abundance is not easy. I don't sleep if I don't serve God. God will not be liberated without me. I know this." True Father is speaking now. When you serve me, when you attend me, it have to be the same for you. You have to make me feel I am powerless without you. You have to make me feel I am powerless without you. Because it is only when you
que je
develop the pyramid of our activities that I can I can also enlarge my
vous décidez des circonstances qui m'entourent et vous devez avoir un cœur de créer un vaste environnement pour moi dans toutes les sphères de la vie. Encore une fois, une vie de service n'est pas facile. Il faut servir Dieu avec plus de cœur que le cœur d'un parent qui aime, que le cœur des parents qui aiment leurs enfants. Donc, comme notre Père l'a dit, la vie de service n'est pas facile et il faut qu'il sente que sans nous, il est impuissant. L'appel que la fille unique de Dieu nous lance à chaque instant, à chaque moment. Vous, unis à moi, nous ferons des exploits. Des miracles vont s'opérer. Et d'une manière substantielle, cet appel nous est lancé pour offrir ce CheonWonGung au monde. J'ai besoin de vous, de votre assistance, de votre participation. Notre manière de faire sentir que notre puissance, la puissance de la vraie mère, sa force, son énergie, elle les tire de nous. Elle les tire de nous. C'est pourquoi notre Père dit ici que la vie de service n'est pas facile, ni pour lui, ni pour nous. Mais nous devons le faire avec le cœur. Nous tous, nous sommes parents, nous avons l'expérience. Nous devons le faire avec ce cœur des parents qui aiment des enfants. Si nous aimons nos parents, si nous aimons vraiment notre vraie mère, nous n'avons pas de choix de pouvoir comprendre cette providence, comprendre cet appel et faire en sorte que nous devons épauler, soutenir, donner la force, l'énergie à la vraie mère, afin qu'elle offre cette œuvre parents célestes. Je voudrais aussi vous inviter, toujours parce qu'il s'agit de vous rafraîchir la mémoire, réfléchir nos mémoires tous ensemble. Nous avons quelques vidéos que nous allons devoir suivre ce matin. Bon, la prière de la dédication, pour comprendre le contenu même de la prière de la dédication de cette œuvre des œuvres que l'humanité a attendu, que les saints et sages ont entendu, que l'histoire n'a jamais connue, qu'on établisse sur cette terre un palais où vous pouvez aller, quand vous y entrez, vous sentez la présence de Dieu, vous rencontrez Dieu. Et avec quelle ampleur, avec quel engagement, avec quelle détermination. Ce jour-là, la vraie mère, elle a pris d'éducation. D'abord, son attitude, le contenu de sa prière, et après, qu'est-ce qu'elle a demandé à toute l'Assemblée. Je voudrais, si la technique est avec moi, de nous balancer cette première vidéo sur la prière d'éducation de notre mère, de CheonWonGung par notre mère. I don't know if you're ready to see the sound. I don't have a sound. Pas le son.
아름다운 청평에 천지 선악원을 건립하고자 합니다. 2000년 전 당신께서는 4000년이란 기나긴 섭리 노정 가운데 타락한 인류 앞에 메시아 독생자를 보내주셨습니다. 독생자를 보내심은 당신의 꿈을 이루어 인류 앞에 참 부모의 자리에 나아가고 싶은 당신의 꿈이었습니다. 그러나 엄청난 고난을 겪으시며 찾아 세운 독생자를 십자가에 돌아가게끔 만든 그 당시의 인물들, 한 사람들, 기독교 2000년 역사는 예수님의 본질을 모르는, 하늘의 섭리를 모르는 가운데, 무지한 가운데 점철되어 나왔습니다. 예수님께서는 십자가에 돌아가시며 다시 오마했습니다. 다시 와서는 어린 양 잔치를 한다고 했습니다. 그것이 하늘 부모님과 인류의 참 부모가 되어야 할 예수님의 사명이셨습니다. 그러나 그 당시에 예수님과 하나 되었어야 할 무리들이 책임 못하고 더더구나 예수님이 오셨던 흔적을 보존하고 역사 앞에 보여줄 수 있는 그러한 섭리는 없었습니다. 그러나 당신의 거듭되는 수고와 사랑 가운데 6000년 만에 이 한민족을 세우시어 독생녀를 탄생시킴으로 말미암아 인류의 참 부모가 탄생되어 새로운 섭리 역사, 축복으로 인해서 모든 세계 만민이 하늘 부모님의 자녀로 나아갈 수 있는 길을 열어주셨습니다. 얼마나 기적과 같은 놀라운 사실입니까? 그러나 아직도 세상은 모르고 있는 것이 안타깝습니다. 그래서 나는 참 부모의 이름으로 오늘을 살고 있는 사람은 물론이지만 미래의 우리들의 후손과 천일국의 백성으로서 찾아와야 할 사람들에게 참 부모님의 사랑을, 참 부모님의 섭리 역사를 생생하게 보여줄 수 있는 천지선악원을 건립하고자 합니다. 사랑의 하늘 부모님, 감사드립니다. 이렇게 무지한 인간들을 그래도 버리지 않으시고 이끌어 나오신 당신의 수고 앞에 너무도 죄송스럽고 감사드립니다. 하늘 부모님, 이제 당신의 꿈을 이룰 수 있는 참 부모님으로 인해서 천일국이 안착할 수 있는 기반을 닦으셨습니다. 이제 이것이 건립됨으로 말미암아 이 민족이 깨닫게 되고 세계 만민이 더더욱 하늘 앞에 효종의 심정으로 감사와 영광을 돌릴 수 있는 그날을 향해서 저희들은 가겠습니다. 하늘 부모님 함께 하신다면은 우리는 기필코 이루어 드리겠습니다. 당신의 꿈, 인류 한 가족, 지상 천국을 만들어 드리겠습니다. 그날을 위한 출발이 되게 됐습니다. 아버지, 오늘의 전체를 주관하여 주시옵소서. 이 모든 말씀 참 부모님의 이름으로 감사와 축원하옵니다. 아주.
Une prière profonde, une prière qui exprime les désirs, la volonté, une prière qui retrace le parcours des vrais parents et l'aboutissement de leurs efforts. L'établissement ferme de CheonWonGung dont nous sommes en train de chercher de tous nos voeux, se résume dans l'établissement, dans la réalisation de cette œuvre. Cette œuvre à laquelle on nous demande de mettre la main, de participer. Donc, c'est un grand privilège à lire sur le visage de notre mère l'histoire de la restauration qu'elle a retracée. C'est que Dieu a cherché au cours de l'histoire. Mais il faut qu'un jour, ça s'accomplisse alors qu'elle est encore sur cette terre. Et avec nous, ensemble. Parce qu'il s'agit que cela se réalise avec nous ensemble. Alors, encore une fois de plus, pour nous rafraîchir la mémoire, qu'est-ce que notre mère nous a demandé ce jour-là où elle devait dédier ce bâtiment à CheonWonGung. Ça, c'est le deuxième vidéo. Et après, nous allons. La technique, si vous êtes avec nous, vous pouvez balancer la deuxième vidéo.
좋은 날이죠? 이 성전의 모습을 이제 실감하게 됐습니까? 인류 역사에서는 물론이요, 하늘 섭리를 놓고 지상에 하늘 부모님을 모실 수 있는 성전을 건립하게 된 이 역사적인 이루 형언할 수 없는 감회와 기쁨과 슬픔이 엇갈리는 6천년 인류를 찾아 나오시는 하늘 부모님의 수고와 고통과 기다림을 생각하게 될 때 6천년 만에 인류 앞에 이 한반도를 중심 삼고 참 부모의 현현은 이 민족뿐만 아니라 세계 모든 나라들의 백성이 참 부모를 통해 하늘 부모님의 자녀가 될 수 있는 그 축복의 날, 감사와 축하와 경사의 날, 그날이 1960년 3월 16일 이루어졌으나 하늘이 보시기에 너무도 가슴 아픈, 마치 강가에 어린아이를 내어둔 잠시도 안심할 수 없는 그러한 환경에 놓여 있는 참 부모의 삶이 그간 60년간 하늘 부모님 앞에 너무도 송구스럽고 죄송함 이루 말할 수 없습니다. 이제 1년을 앞둔 오늘 여기 모인 여러분들은 지도자이기도 하고 통일교의 선배이기도 하니 하늘 섭리의 진실을 바로 알아야 합니다. 그래서 나는 여러분들에게 이틀간의 총수련을 통해서 여러분들이 참 부모의 현현을 통한 여러분들이 기필코 알아야 하고 책임질 수 있는 그런 자리에서 모든 것을 청산한 자리에서 새롭게 출발되는 2023년 5월 5일을 맞음에 있어서 우리의 지상생활의 삶은 그림자가 없어야 돼요. 그림자가 될 수 있는 것은 다 버려야 해요. 천국으로 가는 나의 모습은 크리스탈보다도 더 맑아야 합니다. 아마도 우리 식구 중에는 경험한 사람이 있을 거예요. 그래서 통일교 60년 역사에 그늘이 있었다면 청산하고 넘어가야 합니다. 그래서 천심천보 수련원에서 모든 것 다 내려놓고 새롭게 거듭나는 나와 내 가정과 교회가 그러한 특별한 정성을 들여주기를 부탁합니다.
Voilà. Ce jour-là, notre mère a commencé par Cheon, une belle journée. Nous avons tous répondu oui, très bien. Mais quand il a commencé à retracer, encore une fois de plus, l'historique, le désir et ce que elle est en train de faire pour le parent céleste, pour nous, ses enfants. La conclusion était que nous puissions tous nous remettre en cause. Et parce que il dit que le 5 mai 2023, ça sera le jour d'un nouveau départ et que nous devrions nous nettoyer, devenir clairs comme du cristal. Nous avons fait 3 jours, un séminaire de 3 jours qui commençait de 3 heures, qui commençait de 9 heures à 3 heures du matin. Et c'était des prières de résonance pour nous purifier, devenir clairs comme du cristal, enfin de nous comparer à la valeur. Alors, partant de cette réalité, comprenant la préoccupation de notre vraie mère, le souci qu'elle a pour le parent céleste, le souci qu'elle a pour nous tous, membres de la sainte communauté du parent céleste, à l'assister, à l'aider, à travailler ensemble avec lui. Et aussi à nous permettre, pour nous permettre nous, de recevoir tant de bénédictions et de grâces que les saints et sages au cours de l'histoire ont entendu de leur vivant et n'ont pas vécu. Nous devons comprendre que servir, ce n'est pas facile, c'est difficile, et pour les vrais parents et pour nous. Mais nous devons faire comprendre que sans nous, elle est impuissante. Elle ne devait même pas nous demander, elle ne devrait même pas nous demander en réalité. Nous devrions, en tant qu'enfants de piété filiale, servir les vrais parents, nous donner à fond, au risque même de nos vies. Le sacrifice le plus suprême, nous pouvons le faire que pour les vrais parents, qui nous ont donné la vie, qui nous ont donné l'essence de la vraie vie. Et qui jusqu'alors sont allés jusqu'à nous léguer tout le pouvoir leur conféré par Dieu. Alors, qu'est-ce que nous attendons encore? Pourquoi on doit nous supplier? Les difficultés sont là. L'Afrique doit marcher tête haute pour donner sa contribution à la vie unique de Dieu. Pour terminer, parce que le temps nous a imparti, et encore d'autres vidéos, je voudrais maintenant que nous voyions les résultats. Quels sont les résultats que l'Afrique a déjà réalisés jusque-là? C'est la technique à laquelle nous pouvons nous balancer, ce résultat qu'on voit, et qu'est-ce que, parce que dans notre entendement, dans mon entendement, je pense que si nous pouvons parvenir à trouver les fils que trouver dans l'Afrique 1000 membres qui donnent le $800 cash, Et les autres vont ajouter. Si 1000 membres,
$8,000. That would be great. If 1,000 members and even more,
donc,
since we can attain to 1 million, 1,200,000, at least I wish that
membres de la scène communautaire,
our members, members of Heavenly Parents, all the community Africa,
42 nations, c'est vrai que dans d'autres nations,
be able
on n'a pas encore beaucoup de membres, mais là où il y a
to
beaucoup de
give
membres,
800
parvenir à réunir
dollars,
1000 membres
particularly where there are
contribution de 800,
many members. If we can make sure that to 1,000 members give the 800 US dollars contribution, our contribution really have a sense. Why? Our mother says the 5th of May is the new beginning, and the
en termes de 1000, pas en termes de dizaines.
the number we have to realize is the new beginning number in terms of thousands, not in terms of hundreds. So if we realize 800 $800,000. This will correspond to what our mother said about the fit. It will be the beginning, the new beginning. So these are uh, the numbers. I don't know, can you make it bigger? We have the top five. We have DR Congo with $5,310. Then Benin with $4,787. Congo Brazzaville with $4,225. Ivory Coast with $2,960. And Ghana with 2,325. And then we have other nations. We have Mozambique, Gabon, South Africa, Nigeria, Rwanda, Liberia. We have nations that have already started giving their contributions without forgetting, you know, under the supervision of the vice president, we equally have youths that are determined to offer um, $60,000, and we also have countries and nations who have started giving that for the contribution of youth. We have the Benin, 1,480, and three Zambia, 1,348, Rwanda, 951, Ghana, 921, DR Congo, 910. We have Nigeria, Senegal, Mozambique, Liberia, Burkina Faso, Eswatini, Sierra Leone, Cameroon, and Togo. So, if we determine ourselves to mobilize
la région de l'Afrique, 1000 membres qui
all
sont
the African region, 1,000 members who give cash $800, we can reach this goal, this number representing a new beginning, and Africa will be known as the continent have been able to put a sacrifice. Even though we are not a highly developed continent, we were able to have this amount,
avec la vraie mère de l'humanité,
and we will be one with the love true mother of humankind. We'll be able to establish this model true mother is written for us. So for the CheonWonGung, Africa has to be heard. Africa has to claim the blessing of our heavenly parents by realizing these numbers. By realizing these numbers, we will have
nos 1000 membres pour
you'll
toute
be
la
able to receive this praise. So the goal is to mobilize 1,000 members in the region of Africa, and if a nation has as goal to have 10, the number 10 of the total of those who have to give $800. If you don't have
atteindre l'objectif.
10 members, you can look for 3 or 4, and we'll be able to attain our goal. As I was saying earlier, service is not easy, but we have to serve our true parents, and serving our true parents is to answer to their desires and their call. This temple has a history that has been recorded already by our beloved True Mother. The value of this temple has been explained by our True Mother. We saw at what level we are with the work, And so to really prove our love for our true parents, we have to do our best to accomplish our responsibility, centering on this mission, this sharing and this contribution. Thank you. This is what I had to share with you. Thank you. Thank you very much, dear Regional President, for this sharing, in the sense that we have to serve, and serving not being easy. We have to attending not being easy. We have to do our best. We can serve in various ways through prayer, but also substantially. And it is a substance that the regional presidential shared with us. So without taking more time, I hope saying earlier, we going now to receive the great the grandfather of the African continent to share with us his wiseness with us, with the parents and children here today. And I think we will really be well nourished with what he prepared for us. So the essential family, in the round of applause, has all received the grandfather of the African continent, the grandfather, Reverend Bakari Kamara.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Reverend Edwin. It's a great pleasure to, of course, be here with you. I'm truly grateful. Good morning, Reverend Kadima, and welcome to this special Hundokwe, which gives us hope, to be honest, and same time also direction. I'm grateful you have been supported there, but with Mama Maria, I think those Marys and Marias and Maries, they are quite providential. I hope they are coming to restore the past of the Mary, or the past. So thank you for your support. And thank you for this platform. Welcome you all, regional president and your team, so the staff and vice president and all sub-regional directors and national leaders, blessed families. It's a great honor to be with you on Hundokwe, particularly to receive true parents' grace through the leadership. And I'm so grateful President Kadima can elaborate on this great event coming up to bring to our attention our responsibilities to attend our true parents, to contribute. This is, for many of us, will be probably the last, biggest, strongest available offering we can offer to heaven. So this is a precious moment we should not lose to make history. Let us come together. As you know, in the contribution, the heart is the essence. You may say, I don't have enough, but I always said, as far as you can breathe, you can eat, and you can sleep, you have something. So please offer something from the bottom of your heart. That is, make us really stand as a human being. More than that, as a heavenly parent and true parent children, filial sons and daughters. Thank you. I know also the young people are concerned about the blessing. They want to know more, and they want to also eventually be volunteer. You're right, the vice president said it's not easy to understand. I have to confess also, when I went to the blessing, I didn't understand much about it, to be honest. And that's why the only thing supported me in that time, well, a bit of understanding of the principle, but most importantly, my connection with true parents, understanding that a true parent, like that time we call, Reverend Moon and Mother Moon, their direction, their vision is clear and fit my heart and my conscience. So I believe, like that kind of faith It wasn't easy, but I believe because many explanations we received during the blessing preparation, but it wasn't very clear. So that's why I can understand a little bit the situation of the blessing candidate at a first or second generation. Is not something to take it lightly. And actually, I would be with you if you think it looks like a really a burden. That feeling, meaning sense of responsibility, because you don't take something and you don't make good use of it. So that's why I think together we can support each other to create an environment to support each other. That's the best way. Like as family members and parents and children, siblings, brothers and sisters, leaders, when we come together and to help each other, obviously, Almighty God, Heavenly Parent and True Parent, they will come to assist us. That is the hope we have. So today I would like to, as usual, to really reflect on our relationship with Heavenly Parent and True Parent. But basically, is to, like President Kadima giving direction, which is very clear, to have a bit of energy, the MC was saying around Edwin to go for our mission to really have a great jump. We need energy, we need food. So that kind of, I try, it looks like reading my heart, that what kind of food I can prepare to give you energy to achieve the goal designed by True Parent, by Heavenly Parent, which is proclaimed here by the regional president, and also give of support for our children, blessed candidate, to really also be motivated. It's hard to do that. It's not easy to do such a kind of cooking, to be honest, particularly if you are not a good cook. So that is the problematic. So I got my inspiration through True Parent's word. Just very simplified. You may get more than myself can get into it, and just but to open the window so we can reflect on it. It's very crucial for us to connect regularly with our relationship with Heavenly Parent, particularly with True Parent. How can we together, we can have the feeling together. So that's why let me present my screen so you can, we can read a bit and at the same time reflect. Today I promise I will not pass the time. I put my clock, so do not worry. And I know you are very busy, and I make sure I will keep my time. So thank you, all of you. If I don't, I promise if I don't keep any time come up, President Karima, I can make me pay for the any minute coming up of my time. How about that? Thank you. All right, so that is what I would like to share. Oh, it looks like we are. I hope you can see my screen, and also it can be read well. Oh, something happening here. Okay, thank you. So I would like to offer this theme, which is I am the image of God. Particularly, it inspires me. I hope also it can be some kind of support for everyone. But definitely, each and everyone, I need to face that reality to find my God. We have to find my God. I had to find my God. So to know that eventually I have been created as an image of God. So it gives us some kind of curiosity, at least, to find out how how can I resemble God? So that is what I wanted to elaborate a bit. God's image reflecting in my character, God's image reflecting in my capacity to love, and God is made this image reflecting in my family, and eventually God reflecting in the world. Is that all are too big to be shared in short message. But that's what I say, to open the window so as a base of reflection, to support, not just to know, but to substantialize it in our activity. For example, if I know, if I can understand I am image of God, like even getting involved in the blessing, maybe will be more lighter. And also if I feel I am at the image of God, then that sense will push me more for more contribution, more action, more support for whatever God and true parent want me to do. So I will go. I will help. If Mrs. Biaro can help me to read.
Yes, Chairman, I'm ready.
Yeah, please. Please carry on.
God's image reflected in my character. God made us in his image, like himself. That means the Father resembles us just as we resemble the Father. So when someone asks you, what kind of being is God? You can answer, he's someone like me. This answer will hit the mark. God created all creatures to take after his image, and among them, he particularly created human beings to represent his character and be co-creators. Human beings should have the same attributes of feeling and thinking as God does. If God rejoices, human beings should rejoice with him. And if God grieves, human beings should grieve with him. Unless people are able to experience the same feelings as God, no matter how much God loves them, they cannot attain a state of harmony and oneness with him. In sum, God necessarily had to create object partners to share his love. Hence, God created human beings with the capacity to rejoice with God and experience his love. Again, God created human beings with the same value as the absolute being, that they might stand as his object partners.
You see, when I reflect on this, so it really makes sense. When you are living with someone, either your parents, your relatives, your brothers and sisters, sharing feeling is very crucial. Otherwise, probably one of us could be in difficulties and many challenges. And another person can be enjoying, playing around without realizing, completely ignoring the feeling. Imagine we are in that position. To be honest, it's tragic. So that's why that feeling for me is very important to realize that the Creator, our Heavenly Parent, which express their existence in true parent, they are on earth. True parents are on earth. So their feeling is expressed through them directly. And as President Kadima was sharing, true parents are desperate to achieve so many things before Father in the spiritual world now, before through Mara go there, for the sake of God himself and the sake of whole humanity. So they are really desperate. So for us as the children, loved by them, taken care by them, liberated and blessed by them, is really the time now to sit down and reflect what they're feeling, what they want, what they had. How can I contribute? Mother, what do you feel this morning? What is your thinking? What is your objective? So this kind of exercise, we may not get all the answer on the spot, but that create a momentum so we can be able to be alive with her. And since our good ancestors, not only direct ones, but even our good ancestors in terms of providential figures, central figures, they are there. They're also waiting to find a base on earth to contribute and to participate. So engaging such a kind of foundation, eventually they will come with us and we will be together and we will understand together. And that will empower us, even though we didn't know from the beginning. It will empower us to be able to understand and move together with our beloved true parents and our beloved true mother. So that is such a kind of dynamic. I think we need to sit down and not just sit down, I mean to reflect on it in the way that we can engage. Because if we are empty in heart, empty in our feeling, it's not easy to move, to make any action, to be honest. So we need motivation, we need stimulation. I need stimulation. I think many of us need stimulation to move on.
A true person is one who resembles God. To establish a world abounding in true people, what we need is not a political revolution, but a revolution of character. A revolution of character is the revolution that transforms us into a true human beings who resemble God's character. It uplifts people's character to the standard of God's character.
Yeah, that is a necessity. Like we had to come closer to be in the same dynamic. We had to be together. So if Heavenly Parents here with our beloved true parent, so that is where we will get our inspiration, our security, and our peace, and our motivation. So that is the direction to come closer, where we can read, we can pray, we can learn from our leadership, and then we act. Then I'm stimulated, and I'm stabilized, and I can grow and move forward. Because we have to utilize, it's really important to utilize the asset we have and the environment created by the heaven parent themselves. In a true parent, the environment is there. So if we are not, I'm not in the environment, I may not be able to be nourished properly. If I'm out of the environment, either in word, in physical environment, in spiritual environment, in social environment, if I'm out of the proper environment, I may be affected. I become naturally vulnerable. So many things. So this is a warning for each and every one. Let us choose a proper place, a proper environment created and given to us by Heavenly Parent, True Parent. And our leadership can provide that. There's a place you can go for meditation and prayer. There's a place you can go for workshop. There is a place you can go for missionary programs. There is a place you can go for fundraising. So many things are there. It's not necessarily for church to get something from you. Actually, it's from you to get revived, to be born again, to be healed, and to be satisfied, and to be motivated, and to stand finally as a true person.
God's image reflected in my capacity to love. In what respect would God most like us to resemble him? More than omnipresence, more than omniscience, and more than omnipotence, more than uniqueness, he most wants us to resemble him in love. The day when we come to resemble him in love, we can lose everything, and still it will follow us wherever we go. A woman can be so ugly as to be not worth a penny, but if she has love, a young man as handsome as a stallion will pursue her. God is the most public-minded being, whereas Satan is the most self-centered being, private and selfish to his bone marrow. Thus, God's formula to restore human beings aims for us to become godlike. This means that we must sacrifice what is personal and uphold what is public. Each of us must embody the spirit of altruism and service to others. A selfless and public-minded person will prosper because he or she is the image of God. The selfish, self-centered person will decline because he is the opposite of God in the image of the betrayer. This is a law of heaven.
There is two parts here. God, to really resemble God, is to try to live the life of true love, meaning I do care for others. I do care for others, and I want to make sure they feel my presence positively. It doesn't matter now who is that person. Who is that person? It's a God created being by God. Maybe that person got some challenges, some difficulty or some handicap. It doesn't matter. So God never stopped loving and caring as much as possible to make sure his creation, his children, really reach a great standard of well-being, healthy, happy, and motivated for more productivity. So that's God's nature. Well, I'm not there now. So by knowing, now I want to learn how to be there. That's why young people in the school, they learn, some learn an ambition to be a doctor. They are not there, but because they want to be a doctor, they make all kind of effort, homeworks, all exercise, maybe not even sleeping, because they want to, in 5 years, they want to become a doctor. Same as a teacher, same as a pilot. In all fields like that. So we can also have an objective to resemble God in love and exercise that and learn how to do it and practice step by step, step by step. And then by experience now we discover how possible, how capable we are, really, what kind of opportunity we have. Because we have people surrounding us every day, at all the time. We will not even run for those people easy to be loved. We will try to find people who are difficult, so I can exercise more my capacity to love as God have always been loving me. So next part is God is public-minded, obviously. He's the one created everything, and including myself, my loved one, my families, my friends, all the creation, caring for them. Even the little things is surrounding us. Heavenly Parents' energy, Heavenly Parents' will is working through them. Even the small creation, so they can exist for who? For us, for me, and for you. So in that sense, things, including the whole universe, got some kind of purpose already created for our service, to support me and you. What about even the little one, my family, my children, meaning my global family, Heavenly Parent, whole community membership, the whole world, they are there. Otherwise, if they are not there, well, I have nothing. I will not even know my existence, no appreciation, and it will be actually very scary, dark place. But everybody or everything is here for my sustainability. So any man, any woman, any people, any child, any parent, any uncle, any aunties I'm meeting is an opportunity actually to express my existence and to take advantage now to grow and eventually to get my stability as a true man or true woman or true parent or true child. Without them, I don't exist. So for our own benefit, it looks a little bit selfish, but the reality is to make sure I am a person created by God to exist and to enjoy life. I had to care for others. I had to appreciate their existence. I had to be there for them. And then they are there for me.
God's image more completely reflected in the family. In human beings, God's internal nature and external form are manifested separately as man and woman. When the time is right, they are to become a father and a mother, parents of heaven and earth. Then God dwells in their bones. God is the harmonious union of the dual characteristics of masculinity and femininity. Creation occurs by the principle that God's internal nature divides into two separate characteristics, which then reunite in a form that resembles God's original internal nature.
So as you can see, it's very clear that we ourselves, me, myself, I'm not reflecting God 100%. I'm not satisfied. I'm not stable. I'm not secure. So the stability and security and fulfillment come only when I have a spouse. So the reason, because individually, we are not fully image of God, individually. Yeah, part of God, if I'm a man, I could reflect masculinity of God. As a woman, as an individual, I may reflect the masculinity, the femininity of God. So God is one, is not two separate, is one. So that's why it's extraordinary how I would say God has been very clever. You know, He makes us separate, His own nature separate within within men and women. So we can't survive without each other. And that's why our creativity, co-creativity is involved. We have to be part of that process to resemble God. We have no other choices. So that's why this blessing or coming together to find my heavenly partner is not just designed to have a marriage. It's designed to complete myself, to have my total fulfillment, achieve the purpose of my creation, and eventually to resemble God, to resemble the Creator, to resemble Heavenly Parent. So it's not, I didn't understand from the beginning, it's not a question of just a mission to get blessed or to get married, blessing and get married. It's not a mission. It's actually the direction, the destiny I have for fulfillment. So if it's not very clear at the moment, as said from the beginning, we can learn about it. We can learn from reading, from the book. We can learn from praying. We can learn from making condition. All those things are elements to make us understand what Heavenly Parents say. And we can learn through the experience of those who are already involved in marriage and blessing. So that's why that kind of momentum we need to learn about something, to learn about something we don't know, to learn about something which we can utilize properly, to learn about our life and to learn about our destiny. So that we need to know, and not to know, we need to practice also. So women, myself, it doesn't matter what kind of position I have, any man or any woman, doesn't matter what kind of position, it can never resemble God. It can never be God. But as a husband and wife, as a family, that is the design made by God to resemble Himself. So He knows.
It is only when a man and a woman become one that they come to resemble God, who created us male and female in His image. Man and woman are born each resembling God, or resembling one of God's characteristics. That is, the union of God's son and God's daughter is the union of God's masculinity and God's femininity. In their harmonious union, they resemble God. For this reason, husband and wife are a unified body that represent God in His entirety. Since we human beings resemble God, by the power of God's omniscient and almighty love, we can do anything. Just as God created Adam and Eve, we human beings receive the power to create when we give birth to sons and daughters.
You can see now how our partners are so important. And I can feel more important than myself because I have myself already, but I'm incomplete until I have my partner. So my partner obviously is my savior. So I will jump this part to go to the conclusion because of time.
Human beings are created in God's image. We are vessels for God's indwelling spirit, and we are God's beloved children. The image of God speaks to the ideal of holiness, truthfulness, righteousness, and charity. The saint is like heaven, manifesting the character of God. To reach this ideal requires a transformation of the inner man. As two parents put it, a revolution of character. Two parents teach some of the ways for human beings to resemble God: omnipotence, omniscience, absoluteness, eternity. Moreover, possessing these qualities is our heavenly birthright. Men and women are equally in the image of God. Since God created human beings to share his complete love, human beings should resemble God to the fullest extent. Had human beings not been marred by the fall, we could attain the fullest manifestation of God's image as a man and woman in the union of marriage.
Yeah, this is probably the conclusion I can project here, but truly is quite making me really emotional because by knowing only this, we can have Heavenly Parent Holy Community stabilized. So that's why wherever we go, whatever my mission is, let us remember I am made to be image of God, meaning God is trying to make me like him. And I can learn that through true parents. And I can practice that in our community. And that can produce a result for the next future generation. In holiness, in truthfulness, in a righteous way, and also in servicing, making charity is extraordinary. So we have that, and together with my partner, we do that together in good unity, harmony, and resemble God. So when people see and feel and they are together, they feel different and they feel the presence of Almighty. This is what I wanted to share with you. Thank you once again for coming, and thank you, President Kadima, for this platform. God bless you and have a nice day.
Okay, thank you. Merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup, grand-père du continent. Nous sommes très reconnaissants pour cette sagesse.
Thank you very much, the grandfather of the continent. We are so grateful for this for all what you shared today. I think we do not give the ovations a very space. Let's clap again for him. Thank you very much. When we are a grandfather, for us, children and grandchildren, we always hope we can receive something new. And that is the case all the time we receive our grandfather. So thank you once more. We are going to, without wasting more time, move on to the announcements.
Nous allons passer aux annonces. Avant les annonces, le président régional va venir pour...
We're going to move on to the announcements, and before the announcement, the regional president will come and conclude and permit us to move to the next step. So we're going to invite first of all the regional president to offer the closing remarks.
Merci une fois de plus pour
Thank you once more
la parole que le secrétaire général vous venez de m'accorder.
for giving me the floor, Secretary General. Thank you. So our 21 co-chair, Reverend Bakari Kamara.
Sa sagesse, trêve de bavardage.
For all what he shared to us. So without taking more time, I would like to once more thank everyone.
Les directeurs sous-régionaux,
Sub-regional directors, youths who are really at the front line now,
famille bénie centrale,
Blessed Central families,
qui se sont mobilisés.
the candidates that mobilize themselves.
Nous devons secouer le ciel.
We have to move.
Il faut que cette
We have to
bénédiction
move heaven. Africa has to move heaven.
ne puisse pas être comme les autres. Je ne veux pas dire que les autres bénédictions
So
sont
that this
mauvaises.
blessing should not be like others.
Plus
I did not say that the blessings are not bad, but as more as we move forward, as more as we move with our beloved True Mother,
80 ans, nous avons célébré 100 et
she'll have
c'est-à-dire nous sommes assez adultes
80 years.
et que 3 générations puissent travailler ensemble. Il faudrait que les résultats soient supérieurs par rapport aux résultats que nous avons toujours obtenus.
We have to have greater results than the results we have always had. That is why the investment of everyone is really important. Really, we have to determine ourselves. We have to move the good spiritual world, the liberated and blessed ancestors. We have everything to mobilize the good spiritual world. We have everything to have the awaited results. We have the chance you want today.
Et dans d'autres nations également,
In
même
Africa and other nations, and even in some homes. So
une justification
there is nothing
à donner
that can stop us now.
n'est pas être en mesure de refléter l'image de Dieu,
There is no
être en mesure d'obtenir les résultats de ce que nous demandons, pour ne pas
reason
être
of not being able to be at the image of God, of not being able of showing to our beloved parents that without us,
à la vraie mère que sans l'Afrique, rien ne peut marcher.
you are powerless. We have to show to our beloved mother that without Africa, nothing can work, and that we are here. Africa is with you.
Va donner le sourire. Imaginez-vous, quand nous avons établi les rapports, les différents, nos différents plans.
Africa has to give smile to our beloved mother. When we did our various plans, we said we want to see
Elle a dû
the
verser
beauty of our true mother.
la
We wanted
libérer.
to see the smile of our beloved true mother. Let's remember how much our true mother shedded tears and blood.
Au Sénégal,
Shedded tears for Africa.
Qu'elle a fait alors que faisait très chaud au Niger.
The part she went through while it was really
de présidents qu'elle a rencontrés.
hot in Niger, the president she met there, the number of times she
s'unir à elle pour faire marcher les choses. Voilà.
asked us to unite with her.
Et chercher à amener plus de candidats à la bénédiction.
So this has to be our goal, be able to bring more candidates for the blessing. That's our goal. Let's not forget that. The more we receive spiritual, the more we have to go on the
ceux qui sont inactifs,
we have to go on the front line to bring results. The more we have to work for all those who are inactive to be active, those who got discouraged. We have to show them it's just Satan that is discouraging us. So we have to have a attitude of being grateful.
L'État n'est pas en notre faveur, c'est le moment.
We have to know that time is not on our side, and this is the period Africa has to shine, and we are the ones to make it shine. So thank you very much for coming. May the love and the blessing of our beloved true parents be with you. Really wish success to all children that engage themselves for this blessing. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup pour ces mots de fin. Avant de terminer,
Thank you very much, Regional President. Before closing, we have some announcements for each and every one of you.
De matching des trois générations, ce programme que nous faisons depuis un moment, qui va finalement nous amener.
We have the education, two-generational program education. Today we are at the second week.
Les matching supporters et les BFD qui auront leur éducation.
With the matching supporters, DFC and matching supporters are going to have their education tomorrow at 4 a.m. DFD and matching supporters will have their education. And also on the 15th, please keep it on your mind. On the 15th, we are going to have the education of parents. That's Wednesday at 4 a.m. Please note it somewhere and keep time for that. And next, on the Thursday, like the Thursday that just passed, we have consultations with our children. It was really nice. You had to be there to really understand what our children share with us that really mature, and we think that many are going to register for next Thursday, that's Thursday the 16th, and Friday the 15th, we are going to have the education of youths in the churches and in churches and online, and then we are going to have on the Saturday the session of communication. Another important announcement is yes, on the Friday at 5 p.m. GMT we have the youth education. Please, there is the reflection form that has already been put on the chat. Do your best to really fill this reflection form so that all those who are guiding this program should have an idea on how to improve it, and that it should help each and every one of us. Dear central families, we are going to stop here by offering a 3 minutes prayer in unison. Let's offer all we have in our hearts to prepare this day. So let's pray together.
Encore de parents, si vous voulez, cette opportunité depuis ce matin.
Merci beaucoup pour avoir fait.
Thank you very much for offering your prayers to our heavenly parents and true parents. We are now going to offer last greetings to our heavenly parents and true parents of heaven and earth and mankind. 전지인 참부모님께 경배 바로 honor and glory to heavenly parents and true parents. Thank you. Thank you very much for coming. Just as a reminder,
Juste pour rappel, notre condition de 210 jours continue. Ça veut dire que
as a reminder, our condition of 210 days continues. So we still have the 7 minutes prayer we have to do before after the program. We have the 12 miles we have to do before after the program. So it's important that we should continue doing our 210 days conditions, even if there are other programs that come to add up. So we are now going to move on to family pictures. Yeah, essential families. Let's all get set and ready. We're going to take the family picture. The technical team prepared for us today a particular system to take pictures. So open our cameras so we can all be in front of the pictures. So we're going to start with a small heart. Technical team, if you're ready, please offer your smile, the first smile of Monday. We call this a family smile. Let's all smile. Okay, thank you. There are many pages today. We went up to 332 connections. So please, I can see all the smiles. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much for your smiles. Now, the last one is this one. So we will do this pose in a couple. Those who are not in a couple, you can do it alone. And smile. Okay. The hearts are so beautiful. They really express our inner self. Thank you. And the next page. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for your smiles. Thank you. Bye bye.